Hey, Game is Andy over at the Facebook Live TV show, and we are still here in San Diego. I might have said Brea on the last broadcast, now that I'm thinking about it. But we are at Publish and Profit, where we've made nearly 100 #1 best-selling authors, and in 3 days, by the way, if you've not watched the other ones. And there's so many different people from different walks of life, and so many people I didn't get a chance to meet. But last night, I got the opportunity to meet this man who has quite the story. But first, I want you to tell people on our audience, which is 1.7 billion people, by the way, live, who you are and what it is that you wrote about and hope to do with your book.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Andy. It's a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me on your show, and hello to everyone out there. My name is Juan Esteban Rodriguez. I live in New York City, and the story that I came up with, 21 Lessons I Learned from My Cat, has an interesting kind of backstory to it, because really what it is a personal development and self-help story wrapped into the fact that I saved thousands of dollars of therapy, potentially paying for therapy, based on the help my cat, a stray cat that I picked up in my house in Florida. That cat, the demeanor of this cat, which is a cat dog, has a dog personality. Just the way that this cat has always just been around me allowed me to get into a reflective state, and it evolved into just a personal development for me after 2 marriages and 2 divorces. Failure, not a failure, but a loss of a lot of money when the market turned down in 2008, 2009. So a lot of losses that a lot of people have gone through, things like that. Thank God that my health, my #1 wealth, has always been intact, which is my health, and I thank God for that. But a lot of other turmoil in my life. So the Zen nature of this cat, just the fact that these are universal principles and core values and things of that nature. But I was forced to revisit them, because right now I was put into a situation of leaving a 4,000 square foot house to a 400 square foot studio, and it was just me and that cat, and that caused me or created an opportunity for me to reflect on a lot of stuff that was going on in my life, and I tell you that resulted in this book. I hope that a lot of people get the same help that I've received from the wisdom that I've been able to put into this book, and I look forward to sharing that with people.
It is awesome, and one of the things that really moved me to speak to you is because when I saw the title, I wrote a book called Falco, Walking with God and a Dog, and I worked with a police dog at the city of Anaheim, and it wasn't until after he was put down and I lived a few years with the memory of him that I realized, as things began to happen, I go, you know what, my dog was trying to tell me something back in that police car when we were driving around the city of Anaheim for 12.5 hours, and we were having conversations, and there were certain things that were happening that he did to show me the presence of God. And I'm a tough nut to crack on the religion thing, just to tell you, to be honest with you. But there were things like, for instance, in our training, in the original trainer that we were with, there was a lot of hitting the police dogs with sticks, totally brutalizing the police dogs, and it's still done today, by the way. And I've spoken out about it. And they beat him with a stick. And there's the story in the very beginning of the book about how my dog saved my life. And that reflected to me later on when I began to look at the Bible and realized that Jesus Christ was beaten and put on the cross and saves our world, right? If you follow him, he'll save your world, regardless of the fact that he was beaten. I'm getting all emotional. And the dog was like the same thing, right? And so I saw your book, and I want people to know that regardless of what you think about the cat and that kind of stuff, I'm telling you that it is a true fact. If you really look at some of the things that dogs and animals can teach you, that there often powerful stories that are found in the animals that we surround ourselves with, and even in the wild. So is there one lesson that you can think of right now that you might be able to let people know that they can find in the book that might give them an idea what's inside?
There were many, but again, based on, there's a lot of things that as we go through our challenges in life, and as we go through our day-to-day living, we forget a lot of the fundamental principles of life that apply to everyone, the universal principles. And so just like someone that may have just had a child, for example, will all of a sudden have to reframe their life. This is like my child. So one of the things, for example, patience, tolerance, little, things, core values and principles that people know but they forget, and they ignore, and sometimes they get caught up in the day-to-day living, and they just blow past them. So this allowed me to slow down and said, you know what, I'm already in a safe place, and the fact that I'm being forced to confront this particular challenge through a cat. It's not that I didn't love her anymore, but something that can seemingly appear to be so not as valuable as a human life, perhaps. Some people might see that, but I on the contrary, I realized that she had a true value to me. And one of the other things that I learned about was abandonment, because she wasn't actually even my cat. She was my ex-wife's cat. I had adopted her from my ex-wife, and so when my ex-wife decided to say, "No, you keep her because I know you love her more than you love me," I was like, "Okay, I'll do that." And what I got in return was absolute, love and support from this creature, from this cat, that helped me resolve some of my own personal challenges and demons. And I'll be eternally grateful to this cat for it. Today she's a 7-year-old, a tuxedo cat, black and white, and just the love of my life. And it's funny to see, like a super macho kind of guy cuddling this cat like she's a baby. But if you see us at home, I make sure I pick her up every single day, and I just smooch her all over the place. Then I set her down, and that's it. And I let her know, listen, you're loved. You're not gonna want for anything.
I gotta say, that's probably the thing that was actually the most interesting thing, is that when I saw the title, like, oh, it's got to be not you. But
the story is told in kind of like parables and things like that. So it's not intended to be an autobiography, but it is my story. Yes.
One of the things that comes to mind is forgiveness. But the animals have such forgiveness, because sometimes I get busy and then I'll be somewhere and I go, oh crap, I didn't feed the dog, right? And you come home and they go, hi, how are you? And it's not because they want to be fed. They really are truly happy to see you, regardless of the fact that you forgot to feed them.
It's genuine. And I'll tell you that I'm on my 7th day of being away from home. I live in New York City. So I actually came to this conference from another conference I was in Orlando for 3 days. And I've been following Mike online for 15 years, but I just never went to any of his events because, I had a non-compete from another internet company that I owned, so I couldn't get into this space when he first came on the scene. But I always kept involved on his mailing list. And so eventually, when I did decide, in the Orlando event, I heard about this event, and I didn't hesitate at all. I signed up immediately, came to this, and the result is that in 3 days, I'm a best-selling author, and this is the book, 21 Lessons I Learned from My Cat. Even the title changed. I mean, my coaching that I do is called Empowerment Coaching, and I was actually coming originally with the concept for Empower Your Hour, which is my website. And midstream, I switched it to this. I just got the inspiration to focus this and dedicate this to my cat, who's Coco Chanel. And that's how this book came about.
That's awesome. Yeah. So just to ask you one more question about the book. What are your plans with the book? What are you going to do with it to help you get leads or help you get on stage? What are the plans?
Leads and on stage, this is an interesting read, but I'm sure a lot of people are going to go, well, yeah, I've come across that before. And that's not really the point of the book. The point is as a reminder for people to reconnect to what's important in life. These core principles are there for a reason. And beyond that, there's an entire platform that I can engage them in on coaching, personal development, and business development, because I'm an entrepreneur at the end of the day too. And I work in real estate, and I've been in the music and internet business. So there's a lot of value that I can bring to the table for people that want to coach with me on a group coaching basis or on a one-to-one basis. And the book is just really, like they say, an expanded business card or a door opener. So there's a lot of value here, but I'm not thinking I'm going to sell millions of copies of this, because that's not really its intention. It's for people to reconnect to what's important in their lives, and if they need more help, then they got a guy that'll be 100% on their side to come to.
What's the best way for people to connect with you?
Well, the best, let's see, with this infusion soft stuff that I just bought, I'm going to have a lot of ways, because I'm going to be, now everywhere? What is it, everywhere now? So I'll be everywhere now shortly. But
a website or a phone number?
Yeah. Right now, the phone number is 917-500-3969. I receive texts. Text me there, and I'll be able to respond. Unless I'm on a plane somewhere, I'll get back to you.
You mind if I see Jill over in your seat? All right. Thank you. You're very welcome. All right. It was really great meeting you. I'm really proud of you. Good job. Jill Fagan. Oh my gosh, this is an incredible story of how we've just kind of keep meeting, and how I'm seeing you online and doing so much stuff. You are a success story based on what I've seen you do. I mean, right away they grabbed you and put you in charge of
appropriate, but it was a lot of fun.
Of this event. And so it's obvious that you are a take charge kind of person. You were instrumental in helping a lot of people get past that hurdle that we had with Amazon. But before we get to all that, first tell us a little bit about who you are and what it is you do.
Sure. My name is Jill Fagan. I run Silver Torch Press, which is a publishing company, and I've been doing that for about 5-6 years now. And so what I am passionate about is helping people to really understand the power of their personal message, and the fact that in allowing your vulnerability to come through, that's where your most connection is. So I talk to people all the time about just being willing to be authentically yourself so that you can write the story of your life that's important.
So you're a publisher, right? Helping other people publish the books. See, I want to talk about your challenge too that you're giving yourself with the live videos, but so I'm between which one I want to ask you. But I really want to say, because we're in this Publish and Profit, what is the importance of having a book? Why are we even in this industry of book writing, helping people write a book? Why is it important?
Well, most of the people that I work with are professionals in the advice business, meaning that they make money off of the advice they give. They're selling themselves as much as they're selling any other product or service. So when you're in the advice business, then it's crucial that you are letting people know that you're an expert in your industry. A book does that faster and more easily than anything else. You say, I'm a published author, and for all of these people, it's, I'm a #1 best-selling author. And whether it should be the case or not, a book gives you instant influence, credibility, and exposure. And so that's what people understand that work with me, that they need that influence, credibility, exposure. And typically it's, because I work with busy professionals, they don't have time, patience, or skill to sit down and write that book themselves. And so we help people with that and make it so easy to write a book. Just like they're making it super easy to get that #1 bestseller, we do very similar things, just helping people get it done.
And the one thing when you are meeting people and you hand them a book as opposed to a business card, many people watch their business card with their pants. But people won't throw away a book. They keep a book, especially if you sign it. It's very powerful. It goes on a shelf. It sits on a desk, and people often will see that book and be reminded of who you are all the time. As a matter of fact, they often they won't throw them away. They put them in the pile at the yard sale. That's how much people like their books. So I think that's really a powerful tool to get attention by the people that you want to see your book and know who you are.
Absolutely, and for many people, it's a way that they can get more people to understand their services. It's a way to get people to pay, to buy their services, or to pay more for their services, or to speak more on stages. I mean, there's so many reasons that a book is just pretty much an essential these days.
So let me ask the one question is, why should people come to you to get help writing their book? Why you and not somebody else?
Sure. So.
Me.
Well, I'm cuter than Andy Falco, but no, seriously. We just have really systematized the process. So I tell people, and they don't believe it, but within 24 hours, we create your book. Now, it's not a day, but it is 24 of your hours, meaning we interview you, and we go through the process, and our ghostwriters specifically, they know how to craft that very professional message that's going to help you be seen as the expert you are, and it takes very little time. So we make it really easy.
And your books look great. I've seen your books. They look fantastic.
Thank you so much. We work really hard on quality.
Are you one of the designers, the graphic? I mean, how do you come up with such good-looking books?
So I have a team. I have a really great graphic designer and web designer that does all of our book sites and things like that. I personally do the Infusionsoft. I touch the editing and formatting of the books that I love because that's what my part is. But I have editors and formatters, and I have ghostwriters. So it really is very much a team effort. You just come in, and we just put you through our systems and knock it out.
Well, if you want a book that looks good on the inside and out, that you're the person to go to for sure. I've seen your books; they're fantastic. Now let's talk about the Facebook Live thing you got going on. I can't do it. I've tried to go on every day, and it's just things in the way. You have more kids than I do. I have 5 kids, so I use that as my excuse by not going live. But now you've debunked that. But you have gone live for a number of days, and you plan on continuing to go a number of days. So what is the number that you're at, and where you're going, and why?
So I'm on day 47 of 100 days. It was at the last Mike Koenig's and Ed Rush event that I was listening to someone speak about Facebook and the power of Facebook, and he said, if you really want to move your business, do 100 days of Facebook. And I was like, 100 days. Wow. Okay. So yeah, I'm totally going to do that. And what's crazy is, I mean, I've been married for 19 years, and I don't think I've done anything in that time as consistently as I have done Facebook. I've done 47 days now, and what it's it's teaching me a lot of things about myself. It's giving me, a reason to think about what do I believe and what is really real and what's important. Because every day I have to get on and say something, and it needs to be somewhat reasonable or thought out, but a big part of my message also is, and what I've learned to love is that I don't have to be on all the time, which is really my core message. Like, I think I have some really great ideas, and I know I have touched people because of the things that I was able to clarify in my own mind and then interact with people, but I think a lot of it also is just being willing to say, you know what, I'm having a really bad day, and it was tough today, and I have nothing good to say on Facebook Live, but I'm showing up for you. I'm showing up for you today. My commitment is that I'm going to show up every day, regardless, and it's interesting to see who shows up for me. It's been a blessing.
You may have just answered it, but what have you learned about yourself in these first 47?
Yeah,
47 episodes. What have you learned about yourself?
What I have learned, I think it was originally a business challenge, but what I've learned is that business is not most important for me. We're recording Facebook Live. It's okay, Meredith.
It's only Meredith, not that big of a deal.
It's live. It's live. I have learned not to take myself too seriously because things happen on Facebook Live where you're just like, oh man, that was just live. Okay, all right, it was live. But I've learned that for me, business is really not as important as that personal connection and being willing to show people the good and the bad and the ugly crying and the really cute day when you did an event, and all of that is me.
That's the new world of what we are involved in now, is that authenticity. People want to know that you're a real person that they're working with. It used to be back in years ago that you worked with a corporation, Westinghouse and Maytag and whatever other thing I can come up with. You bought that thing. But then Steve Jobs gets on stage, and now you're buying, you know more about the people behind those products now, and you're buying from a person that you like or don't like, right? And all the things that they do, and now with everything that's going on with Facebook Live and YouTube Live and the internet, you really want to have a relationship with that person, and you want to like them before you buy what they have to offer.
That's true. I tell people so often, where are your connection points? Your connection points are where people understand that you're exactly like them, that you have and feel their pain, and you know what they're going through, and you're going to solve it. Like, you understand, and you're going to fix it. And I think when you put yourself up, or quite often, people put others up on this pedestal of perfection, it's really a disservice, because then we are like, oh, you're not like me. You're not like me. I can't ever be like you. And that's not a service to each other. So I'm all about, just being me. And okay, I learned this thing. It's amazing. I am Flossom. I'm Flossom. I'm Flossom. And what that means is I'm awesome in all of my flaws. I have a lot of flaws, but I'm still awesome. And that, truly, that grabs me right now. I have a lot of flaws.
I'm gonna maybe steal that and make a T-shirt.
You should. Flossom.com. Yeah.
So I have two more things. I think there were two that were going on in my head if I can remember the second one. But one of them is, one of the things that holds people back from doing Facebook Live, which is important for anybody that wants to get their message out. They want to be an authority. They want to tell their story. Get used to, because part of business is entertainment, right?
Yes.
And entertainment has to do with going live sometimes and talking about things that grab people and pull them in. But what I think that you demonstrate is that what you were just talking about, that you go on even when you're in a bad mood, you go on maybe when you didn't have an opportunity to get in front of the mirror, and men, do the same thing. I want to make sure that I have the right shirt on. I'll change shirts before I go look. I go, nah, that doesn't go right. And so, but you go on, right, regardless of what's going on in your life. I mean, a lot of women have that fear. How do you speak to women that's the thing holding them back?
Oh, you know what, honey? We're all ugly some days. It's totally fine. Some of my most liked and commented on videos were when I said, you know what, I'm wearing my overalls today. Because in my house, overalls are like, nobody wears overalls. Those are like from the 80s, and they're awful, and you don't go anywhere in overalls. And if you go somewhere in overalls, it's because you're a slob. And it's like, you know what? I'm having an overall day. Like, I'm in it. I'm just like rolling in the muck, and I need my overalls today, and I'm gonna wear it. Or the day that I wore my yoga pants, which I was just like, I went to the gym like 10 hours ago, and I never got out of my pants, and like, I never showered. It's rough over here. I hope you guys have rough days sometimes. Those are the ones where people are like, thank you for saying that. Like, I have days where I come home from the gym and I'm like, screw it, I'm not gonna shower today. I'm gonna just be stinky, and the world's just gonna have to deal with it. And like, that's okay. That's okay. It's totally fine to just be who you are in the moment and be okay, not perfect, but okay with being okay.
Yeah, perfection. It happens. It delays the process of writing your book and getting it published. People want it to be perfect and perfectly edited, and it never will be. There will always be, except for in your books, there will always be an error or something that you don't like about your book, and people let that hold them back from releasing a book. Going live, I just don't feel right today, or whatever. I mean, I've literally been totally pissed off at somebody or something, and I hit the go live. Hi, this is Andy, the Facebook Live TV show, and bam, but it actually makes me feel better. I get off camera, I go, oh, that actually went better than I thought, and I'm able to go on with my day. So there's missed opportunity by letting fear hold you back, or what you don't like about yourself, or that you don't feel good, because there's powerful things that can come out of those moments, right?
Absolutely.
So I got
Absolutely. I have gone on lots of times with really cute hair, and lots of times like straight out of the shower I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't do Facebook Live today, and I have to do Facebook Live. And so I do it with and without makeup. I do it with great hair and with terrible hair, and I do it in my soft and comfortable jammies and my ugly yoga pants and my overalls and really cute dresses sometimes, and
sometimes on your roof.
And sometimes on my roof at sunset, which is my love.
So what?
Just show up. Just show up. It doesn't matter how you show up. Just be willing to show up for people.
So one last question. It has to do with the strategy. What's the strategy behind the 100? What is your hope that you're going to accomplish? Is it testing yourself to see if you can do it? Is there something you're going to do after you get done with that 100 days? What's the goal?
So this is me being vulnerable right now. Me being authentic. I don't think that I have been as consistent as I've wanted to be in lots of areas of my life, in business and personal relationships, and with my kids, and with myself, and with God. And I've been working on that for a while. And so when I heard this challenge, I kind of thought, you gotta start somewhere, and you just need to start showing up. And so for me, it was when someone issued a challenge, I was like, okay, I can, like, it's totally me. He didn't even know that I was saying, yes, I'm going to take the challenge. But in my mind, I was saying, I'm going to make a freaking commitment, and I'm going to do it. And I'm going to prove to myself I'm better than I thought. And you know what? I am better than I thought. I'm better than I thought. And I'm amazing, and I'm flawsome.
I take it as my own. Flossom.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if the URL flossom.com is available. Did you already do that?
I didn't, and I have no interest, so you can do it if you want to. But also, I think for me, that question of why am I doing it, I talk to people all the time about their message and who they authentically are, and tapping into your core message to attract the people you want to serve. And for me, it's also a platform to work through some of the things that I believe. And I'm literally taking my 100 days of Facebook Live, and I'm working with my ghostwriter and saying, okay, here's my content, help me write my book. And so it's also kind of that idea of, can you take content, and can you do it? And you know, I'm just testing out wild theories over here. I've never talked to anyone that we did Facebook Live. Now we've done lots of video content and things like that, but it's just a way to kind of get into my own head very purposefully and specifically, and it's been a ton of fun. And if you decide to take a 100-day challenge, please let me know, and I'll hold you accountable. I'll help you do that.
So how do people get in contact with you to help them write the book or get on this 100-day challenge thing?
Sure. So I'm on Facebook, obviously. It's Jill E. Fagan, F as in Frank, A-G-A-N. And you can also email me at jill@silvertorchpress.com.
Right. Thank you for coming on my show.
Thank you, Andy Falco.
Fantastic meeting you. I'm glad we connected. And we just keep running into each other, and it's fantastic. And thanks for being the boss. I definitely did not want to be the boss. I'm glad he picked you. All right, this is awesome. This has been a great event. I just got invited to another event of Mike Koenig's in 2 weeks, and I'm going to be telling you about that as soon as I can tell you. I'm not sure. I didn't get permission to talk about it yet, but it's a new product they're coming out with, and they invited me to go. Yeah, so I'll be there. All right, you guys, I will see you at the next one. I know all of you in all the different communities that are watching this have been involved in the Publish and Profit and know the stresses that are involved, but we made it again, and you have no idea. This was a special one, and I am so grateful for everybody in the community that got involved, and for you for solving so many of the problems that we were having. You did a great job.
Thank you so much. It was such a good time. I had so much fun.
All right, we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.